Two, one. Hello, welcome everybody. Today I'm really excited that I'm going to be interviewing Julie Gibbons, and she works her business called Brandiwork, and we're going to have just a whatever chat. I mean, mostly I'm going to pick her brain a bit about branding, and let's hear from you, Julie. What do you want to just do a quick intro of your what you do?
Sure. Thank you so much, Natasha. It's fantastic, and I don't get to talk to you nearly often enough. However, so about me, I have been doing branding and website design for quite a long time. I've got a big, strong background in design. It's almost 30 years since I left uni. That's a long time ago.
That would be telling, wouldn't it?
Oh, but I love it. I love design. I love design. I love branding. I love helping people. Like, I really want people to look their very, very best when it comes to
Hmm.
business because that's the way they get or they build their audience.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah,
By
great.
tracking. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought maybe when I thought about talking to someone who does branding, I thought about all the people who I help, and when they come to me and they say, "Oh yeah, I'm ready to do this project," because I also do websites at times or course creation and different things, and those platforms always look much nicer when they've got a logo and they've got a cohesive font and colors. And often I'll say, "Okay, tell me your heading font, your body font, and what are your, couple of colors that you use and your logo," and then they just go, "Oh no, I don't have that." And yeah, I just
Mm.
wondered what
I
you
know. It's
yeah.
amazing. These people think that, like, especially with website design, they want a website and they think that it's going to appear like fully formed magic stuff. And you go, well, where's the copy and all of that kind of stuff? You know,
Yeah, well, there's that.
uh, there's that. Okay, but with branding, okay, yes. The thing is, people tend, especially people who are just in startup, they
Mm,
have this brilliant business idea and they come to me and go, I want a logo. And I just go, that is not your brand. That is
mm,
just so not your brand. Your brand is not a logo. Um, I can give lots of examples as to why that's not true. But the thing is, your brand is really about all that you put out in the world is your business. It's like how you're appearing on camera, how
mhm.
you it's not just the logo. The logo for me is like the last thing, and it needs to spring out of, sorry, that's my phone. I'll just turn that
That's
on
fine.
silent.
We've all been
It needs needs to spring out of a full understanding of your audience
there.
and who you are and what you want to represent, how you want to represent yourself. Like the people, the brands that are really big, they've got like a whole marketing department to they're very focused on who their niche is, who are
Mm,
they trying to appeal to.
mm,
The simple example is if you are talking to your grandmother, you'll talk to her in a different way than if you talk to the butcher. We
mm,
present ourselves in different ways to appeal to different or relate to different audiences. So it's
mm,
very natural that our branding needs to relate to the audience, needs to appeal to the audience that we're speaking to.
mm.
So yeah, and there's lots of really easy ways to dig into that.
Yeah, I
Mm.
mean, how do you help someone? I know for me, when I started, I thought I had to get branding, and gratefully, I didn't go and try and spend heaps of money on that. I really just focused on experimenting with my offers for ages. So, of course, my brand was so
Sure.
weird at first. But I also, when I think back, I think, how could I have had a like developed a brand when I didn't really know what my offer was? I was just coming out of uni and I didn't really have like my authentic voice yet. I didn't really know who my target market was. I didn't really know what my offers were. Like, can you still help someone if they're right at the beginning?
100%. So even if you, all of those things are really vague, there are
Mm,
still things that you know about your business that you inherent in. So if I'm making clothes to sell, I'm making clothes for women, right?
hmm.
So already I have an audience. Like, are they old women, young women?
Oh
Like
yeah.
you can easily refine all that stuff
Mm,
right at the outset of your business because this is what you're doing. Like
yeah.
you just can't stand in the middle of the street and say, "Give me money." Like there's something. This you can,
You
but nobody's going to
can.
listen.
That's called
Um,
something else.
but if you're in business, you've obviously got something that you're planning to offer.
Ah, yeah.
So who is it for?
Mm,
And therefore, you can start to like build out, no, sorry, narrow down who your audience is, and also bring forward what sort of personality do you want to present yourself as? Do you want
mm,
to present myself as sleek and, or techie, or do I want to present myself as someone who is like the person next door,
mm,
someone's very friendly, approachable? Do I want to exude joy, or like do I want to present myself as something that's calm? All of those things
mm.
can be easily translated into aesthetics.
Yeah,
And
cool.
that's where your branding should come from. So and the other thing about, I mean, another thing about color, people go, I want to include blue in my brand, and but blue's not appropriate for my business. Like, that's a load of hogwash, because
Okay.
every blue, there's a rainbow of blues.
Mm,
There is dark navy blue. There is a vibrant, bright blue. There's a sky blue. Like, there's a zillion blues. So
mm,
you can find a blue that suits you. So
mm.
yeah, there's easy ways to pull all of that stuff together.
Yeah, nice. And I wonder, like, if I have an existing brand and I want to kind of freshen it up, like,
Mm.
can you suggest a couple of ways to sort of bridge from one brand to another? Like, is that possible?
Yeah. So the important thing is, if you have an established brand and your existing audience knows you with that brand,
Mm.
do not wholesale change it without letting them know that that's what you're doing,
Oh
because you'll
yeah.
lose them.
Okay.
If you end up in someone's mailboxes, like for instance, Brandiwork, and then next week you end up in that mailbox's elusive Lulu, they'll just go, "What the?
Yeah, yeah.
Who
What's
the hell
going
is
on?
that?"
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you'll lose them, right? So the idea is to take them along on the journey with you.
Hmm.
That's the number one rule. Number two is really just check in about why you want to rebrand. Is it
Hmm.
just that you are bored? Now, and the other
Ah.
thing about are you bored means that, is it just you that's bored, or is there a good reason to change your brand? If it's just you that just,
Mm,
maybe having a dull moment in your business or something, that's not a good reason to change your brand.
mm,
The reason you would change your branding is because it's no longer serving your audience. It doesn't fit with who they are, or it doesn't fit with the qualities that you want to, put out in the world.
mm.
So they're the things that drive your brand.
So it sounds to me like,
So
as well as being about like oneself and one's own personality, it is also very much about like and aligning that with the audience as well.
100%. Like, you can't just put out your personality. Well, I mean, I guess you can in some sense. So there are people that can do that, have done that fairly successfully, and they've drawn, because it's just the same. Your business is like a person, in the sense that it has a personality, and you will find your friends the same way your business will find its audience.
Ah, yeah.
So if you keep on presenting yourself in the same way all the time, eventually you'll get those people coming to you anyway. But if you understand who those people are in the first place,
Mm,
I think you can get that audience way quicker, because you're already speaking to them. You're already you're speaking in ways that attract or relatable to those people, and they'll
yeah,
come to
no.
you much more quickly.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I worked with someone the other day who needed a hand. She wanted to develop a new postcard and she came to me and she had done all this stuff. She kept saying, "Oh, I've done it with chat. I did this with chat." And I was like, "What does that mean?" And then she said, "Oh, I've been developing all of this brand with chat GPT." And she'd gone through
Mm.
this huge process and of back and forth with chat GPT trying to refine her colors and her fonts and it had produced all this stuff for her. And I know we spoke a bit earlier about AI and, I just wonder, like, because I've worked with AI as well at one point to develop a little strategy around YouTube. And I found, like, strategy wise, it was fine, but it didn't feel authentically, like, I didn't feel authentically activated. It didn't feel like me. It felt like working to this external goal or something that just wasn't actually about my audience or
Mm,
my passion. And yeah, I mean, I'd love
yeah.
to hear what you think about AI a little bit and that process.
Okay, like this is a whole huge question in itself, of course.
Yeah.
But so with I remember going to a talk one time, and the woman who was presenting it said it's like ChatGPT is like giving your task to the junior office person. So if
Hmm.
you're giving them, you say ChatGPT, go and write me my annual, like the big corporation's annual report.
Yeah.
Like that's just asking is just asking for disaster, really, because
It
they
really
have
has to
like
be
it
a
has zero
really,
idea about so
yeah,
much.
yeah.
Um, so it will ChatGPT is great for fact finding, for doing dot point summaries of
Mm,
stuff that you can work from.
mm,
I wouldn't push it to, write or produce anything ever that's supposed to be in my brand voice. I do my own writing. I make
mm,
my own artwork. I
mm,
design my own graphics.
mm.
um that's like quite apart from any copyright issues, which is a massive thing in
Yeah,
itself.
exactly.
um it's not nearly ready to do any of that stuff for me. It's so, yeah, you're right. It's like, I mean, you can train it a bit to be a bit more in your voice and that kind of thing, but at the end of the day, it's still a freaking machine, and it's going to produce machine stuff, and it's going to spit out stuff that it thinks that you want to see and hear, and
Mm.
but it's not. I think it has so many shortcomings, and I have yet to see a AI generated logo that is even vaguely useful.
Yeah, I mean, she came
It's
to me with a lot of material that she was happy with, but I think she just ended up with a bunch of images and she couldn't actually turn that into the postcard she needed or turn that into the website that she wanted. She just had all this
Yeah,
and then was just really kind of pent up in a way like then and she was like wanting to get it out there and use it tactically, but it was just a lot of this idea generating that hadn't actually really evolved towards her
nothing's
having an
gelled. Yeah,
output, yeah, like
yeah,
actually
yeah,
get the outcome that she needed from that.
yeah. And that's that's where humans are like, you can't replace us.
Mm,
You cannot like I said, like the AI is there for doing all the grunt work. That's what it excels at. It can go and then it'll come up with a bunch of facts. I mean, I can go and fact check a bunch of that stuff too, because sometimes it's wrong. Sometimes it just
exactly.
ish at you.
Yeah.
And but yeah, like the human, a person talking to a person, I can extract the exact information that will
Mm,
help me your brand. I can do
mm,
that in an hour
yeah,
and chat. Like I don't know how long that lady spent on
honestly
her,
so long.
many hours, and
Mm.
at the end of the day she was nothing, just gelling, and she's still feeling like she's lost.
Yeah, I mean
So
she had her colors and fonts and stuff, but she just didn't have, she didn't know how to bring it into Canva and turn it into anything. And yeah,
mm,
it was just not quite, it didn't resolve it for her. And I
yeah, yeah,
actually personally really object to it being called AI. I actually don't think that it's AI. I think it's still human generated output. Like there's still humans that created the algorithms. It's still drawing on the intelligence of humans. I think it's actually just algorithmic output. I actually don't think it's intelligent. I think
information,
that
yeah,
AI is
no,
the wrong name for it entirely. It's
yeah,
really just a sort of,
mm,
I mean, a large language model is an accurate name for it, but I'm really opposed to it being called artificial intelligence because to me,
yeah,
that's like, you know, as if alien intelligence or, some kind of beyond human
yeah,
intelligence, but essentially it's
yeah,
still an output of humans who sat together, created some, you know, algorithm that generated information and consumed data and spits data out. Like it's actually not
mm.
intelligent. It's not intelligent.
No, no, you're right. And as I was saying earlier before we got on this
Mm.
call, the copyright issues are massive, and I
Yeah.
really object to the fact that with um chat, well, all of them, they draw on human output
Mm.
willy-nilly. Like it's
Exactly.
just gone berserk, and there are
Mm.
no copyright. barriers to it at the moment.
Mm,
There is no regulation. And so it's copying great swathes of text from authors who have slaved over that text, like they've used their own creativity to
mm,
create that thing
mm,
for other humans to read. And
mm.
chat GPT's just gone, oh, have that, thank you,
Yeah.
and then spat it out, and
Yeah,
somebody
without
else's
consent of those
without
people.
consent.
Exactly. I
Yeah,
do
it's like
think,
we
like,
have
oh yeah.
we have copyright laws already. We
Mm,
already have copyright laws throughout Australia and throughout most of the world. Like, it's just,
mm,
you can't just come and I can't just come and copy Tim Winton's story and call it my own. It's like, that's copyright
mm.
infringement, and I would be fined an awful lot of money. And yeah,
Yeah,
anyway.
it's interesting, isn't it? I'd actually
So,
just, it's funny because I've just been doing writing and literature at uni, and in experimental literature and postmodern writing, there actually is a lot of this like revisionary creativity where people do actually just steal other people's work, but they always credit it. And I think that's something that's really missing in AI usage, is that people aren't actually giving attribution to like, hey, I developed.
mm,
I have seen some people doing it, and I really appreciate it when they do it. So I
yeah,
think,
yeah.
and so I did that unit, the short story unit, which talked about revisionary creativity and about literally just stealing swathes of other people's work, reworking it, and then spitting it out as your own, which is all perfectly acceptable as long as you attribute. And then I did a media writing course as well, and they had just very strict protocols for how, if you're going to use it, like when I was working for Wollongong Uni, I would tell them which prompt I used, which output was ChatGPT's, what I
Mm-hmm.
used from that to develop my own. And I did find at times, like as a creative person, if I look at a blank page, sometimes I seize up. So I do find sometimes it has been
Yeah, yeah.
like get me
It is a
going so I'm
tool.
not
It's
dealing with
great.
nothing. But it all has to be
Yeah.
reviewed and I have to rewrite swathes of it because it's not actually, it doesn't sound like me and it doesn't
Mm,
feel good. It's kind of like doing a puzzle and then sneaking to the back page and having a look for the answer. That's what it feels
yeah.
like for me. It's like that,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah,
actual
yeah.
process. I haven't been through the process. So the
Mm,
output's there and it's kind of
mm,
like, whoof, I cheated. But also the
mm.
other parts of I've cheated where I haven't actually gone through the sort of alchemy of the process itself to develop the output. It's something like that for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
I think there's some fantastic artists around at the moment. People who I know full well have gone through the whole academic system and have a really great grounding of art history and what's happened in the past, and they're playing with AI, and they've come up with some amazing things. And I see like I see that it's pushing, what um, out, like that visual medium of video. I really think it's pushing that in new directions, and fashion as well. Like,
mm,
people, some of them, there's Jonas Peterson, who is making amazing clothing through AI.
mm,
Like, they're so fantastical and beautiful.
mm,
David Zoud is another one who has got,
mm.
he's got
Oh my
this
God, I
art
love
history.
his work. It's
Isn't he
phenomenal.
so good?
It's very
So
cool.
good. Just costume, yes, fantastic stuff. And they're the people I can see really pushing those ideas, taking, because I mean, they are drawing on their art history
Mm,
knowledge
mm,
to push those boundaries. And that's
mm.
something that's always happened within art anyway.
Yeah.
But this whole cloud copying, and just that's a bit yuck, without crediting
Yeah,
where it's come from,
absolutely.
or
Yeah.
that's all. Yeah.
It's
So
the
yes.
time, it's a wild time. And I think I did go through a phase where when I was much younger, I would get really rejective of things. And a friend of mine just said to me,
Mm,
look, it exists. And so it doesn't even matter
mm,
objectively if I think it's good or bad. It's kind of irrelevant because it exists. And now we need to find a way to move
yeah.
forward. And I think that's the thing for me with attribution. I've also read like really fun art by, say, like Sheila Heti, who's an author, who had these really long interactions with an AI that, she kind of groomed and interacted with for years, and then wrote a book It's like a creation story, so a bit like the Garden of
Wow.
Eden, but it's from the AI perspective. And just for her as a writer, just the inane, like the way an AI can be so inane and nonsensible and just have no regard for
Mm,
the rules or conventions, like was for her really exciting and cracked something open in her. But I think that is quite like, yeah, that's an artist's way of interacting with it, not just sort of,
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
just
Yeah.
cheating and trying to get through things in a quick, easy way. And I guess part of that is that
Mm,
there's these expectations and things that we have to comply to. So as humans, we're always going to try and find like, the easy way to get through
mm.
things to kind of try and make our life easier. Mm,
Sure, for sure. But I think that's it comes with a cost. It really comes with a cost that that people are I guess there's always going to be people who try and cheat the system, aren't there?
mm,
There's always going to be people. There's always going to be that element of society. I think it's up to um, I know that there's been I think the more we talk about it, the better it's
yeah,
going to be that we can figure out ways to regulate it because that's the thing that's missing at the
absolutely.
moment, the regulation,
Just free
and
slapper,
which
isn't it?
means that
Mm,
creatives are the people that are missing out the most. I think with
mm,
art and writing are
mm.
the things that's missing.
Hmm.
Mm,
So if
it's
someone
such a good
came to
question.
you and they'd been like interacting with an AI and they thought they had a sense about their brand, do you think you'd still be able to work with them?
Oh, of course. And the thing is, I would just start the conversation by asking them like, how does ask them about their audience. What kind
Mm,
of qualities do you want to convey? So
mm,
if those things match up with what they've come up with through Chat GPT, like fine. But for me, you've got to ask those fundamental questions first
mm,
because before you can create anything.
mm,
And yeah, even at the most basic level, as I said, if you're starting a business, you already have an idea what quality, no, sorry, what product or service that you want to offer. You already have some kind of vague idea about the audience. We can work with that to pull out those qualities. So if, yeah, if we've got to start with that information.
mm. Yeah, that's still the baseline. Well, oh, sorry about
Yeah,
the dog. Anyone who can hear him, hopefully Zoom's blur
I
him
can't
out.
hear the dog. It's
Oh,
okay.
good. He's
Yeah,
defending me
and look, just back
nicely.
back to the logo, which is my pet peeve.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to have a logo because
Uh,
the thing is, there are massive companies. Jeep. What is Jeep's logo? It is Helvetica font of the word Jeep. That's it.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. It's a word mark. It is the plainest, most simple thing ever. There's plenty of examples, especially luxury brands. I mean, Jeep's a
Mm,
fairly high, high value brand, but things like Estee Lauder, it's a luxury makeup brand. It
mm.
has a wordmark logo. And of course, they have massive, massive marketing departments. So it's not like they're short of money because they
Yeah,
can't afford a logo.
yeah.
It's just that they haven't chosen to do that. They rely on so many other aspects of branding to convey that sense that they are a luxury
Mm,
makeup brand.
mm.
There's plenty of examples.
Yeah, I actually been laughing so hard because lately I keep saying the American Express ad, and their logo is now just Amex, as if I keep teasing it. Like, what happened to the marketing department? They just got lazy and they just literally chopped off the rest. Like, they didn't
Mm,
even. It looks chopped off. It like really
mm,
irritates me. But I
yeah,
agree. I mean, when working on a website as well, if someone has a logo with so much flourish and a big shape, it actually really interferes with the optimization of the page. Like I want the front of the page to be a beautiful, big, clear call to action with lots of clickable things, so people
yeah,
can
yeah,
get going with the site. I don't want it all taken up with this big fancy flourish because I think ultimately the client doesn't really care about your logo. They
No, they
almost
don't.
don't even
They
really
really
care about
don't.
your story. They actually just care, can you help me fix my problem? They don't really
Yeah,
care about all
yeah,
your fancy business.
that's right. They do say, "Can you fix my problem?" And the next question is, "Who are you, and are you relatable to me?" Pretty
Exactly.
much, I want to know that you understand. It's basically, I want to know that you understand my problem.
Mm.
I
And
want to know that you understand where I'm coming from, the things that I've experienced. None of that comes through a lot. I mean, a logo should be simple and be succinct. And I feel like it's the cherry on top of the ice cream, and it's not the ice cream itself. The
Yeah.
ice cream itself is where the business end. That's your brand. Like
Mm,
it's all the ice cream.
I agree. Well, that's exciting. I can think of like three people I need to send to you, actually. So it's great to chat. I'm so grateful we made time. And so, if anyone wants to find you out there in the interwebs, how should they do that?
Okay, so brandiwork.com. That's with an I in the middle of Iwork,
Yep.
.com. And also just on Facebook, I'm Brandiwork by Julie. That's me.
Awesome. Thanks heaps for your time today, Julie.
You are so, so welcome. It's
See you
fantastic
soon.
speaking with you. We have lots to say.
We do. We could go all day, guys. We're just going to rein it in here. We'll see you soon. Mwah. See you soon.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.